What's poppin', people? How we doing today? Hope we are doing good. It is the finale for coaching for this season. Super excited. Gonna try and get through a couple. There's a lot of submissions. I think this is the most submissions I've ever had. So that's nice to see. I won't be able to get through all of them, of course. I'd be here all day. And I do have some stuff to do today. I apologize. But we will try to get through a good bulk of them. We got through a ton last time, so I don't really feel too bad about not being able to get through all of them. But we'll do our best. How's everyone been doing today? Hi Pigeons, hi Snowy, hi Feline. Is Is it Christupos? Am I saying that right? Hopefully I'm saying that right. But hi everyone. Hi Modest. Glad you guys are doing well. Good to hear. I am just getting everything open. And I think I found a workaround for the background music playing ads this time, so we should be okay. Hi, I'm a new player on Eternal. Was a LoL player, just want to know, was a broken character to test? It depends what role you play, but Sue is a good pick. Vanya is a good pick. Okay. Let me do this real quick. Let me see if I can show this. You're a cat main and test Surishi. He's COP and fun. Surishi's a good pick if you're a Katarina player. Okay. How do I? What's the way? Is it studio? It's studio mode. Okay. See if I can set this up real quick. Give me one moment. I'm proud I'm getting this up. So really quickly, I just want to shout this out because it's something I do have. I don't really talk about too much, but now that we're starting to get like more and more submissions, I do want to make you guys aware of this. If you go to my membership page, I do have options to be a member. The basic tier is Royal Support. This is just like your standard Twitch sub. It's $1 more because that's the lowest that YouTube allowed me to do without going like below a Twitch sub. But I also put more crowns to that on YouTube than I do on Twitch. This is just like how you support me. It gets badges, it has emotes, that's everything. The next two tiers are for coaching specifically. This one's $30 a month. You get one-on-one coaching. You get a 1-hour coaching session with me once per month. It's basically what we do on the streams here, but since it's one-on-one with you, it's a lot more personalized and a lot more in-depth than what I talk about on stream. And it'll also be catered to you as a player rather than just like general tips around the game. And then I have a rather pricey tier. I know it's $150 a month. It's pretty expensive, but that's kind of the only cost or the lowest cost I'd be able to justify it at. It's one-on-one coaching. It's 4 1-hour sessions a month, so you can do an hour a week if you want. You could do 4 hours in one day. Please don't, but you could if you wanted to. This one is very in-depth coaching. It also gets you personalized work, everything from the previous tier, but I also work with you to create a custom game plan, and I will show what that kind of looks like. This is one I've done in the past. This is for solos. You'll work with me to make one of these for yourself. It's like we talk about some of the stuff that you do well in games, some stuff that you need to work on. There's positive re-encouragement in it. And we like also do some VOD review and look at other games to see what they're doing well, see some players to look at and players to watch. Once again, this is for solo, so it will have to get workshopped a little bit. And then we come up with a game plan on stuff to do for different characters and different like transitions to go, things to keep in mind, how to play different fights mechanically. So I just wanted to kind of show off what this is like. It's like I said, it's very expensive because I kind of like put a lot of work into those, and that's like the only cost I'd be able to justify it at, especially 4 hours a month with one-on-one coaching if it's more than one person. But I did want to make a note of that for everyone to be aware of. Those are stuff I do offer. So I appreciate it if you do choose to do that, but I understand with the price that is not for everybody. Okay, with that, I will catch up on chat. Sorry about that. I just wanted to shout that out while we had a lot of submissions, just because it is something that I do offer. Any changes that you're excited for in season 2? I am very excited for some of the quality of life changes. I think forging's getting some quality of life changes with like fever time. Obviously excited for the new characters. New characters and new skins are super exciting. Battle maids are super exciting. Which, speaking of that, I'll run through some codes at the start of the stream too, so that we can make sure that you're all up to date on codes that you can get. Cat to Shoichi seems right. Yeah, that's kind of the natural progression for Katarina players. He's got some Akali properties as well, but if you kind of like the jumping back and forth around, you can also try Aiden if you want a basic attacker. Isaac's in a solid place right now, I'd agree. It's pretty good. Didn't submit mine because I got in last time. My games have actually been going a lot better. Still only a couple... still only a couple true wins, but I've been helping my friends get better mainly. That's great. Good to hear. Can't wait for Subame. I'm an Akali main in LoL and haven't had a true main in ER. I've heard a few Akali players, Adritoma specifically, talking about how they're excited for Subame. I want a Nun battle pass next. I'd probably agree with you. Have to throw Chiara in there. Elena and Sylvia are okay. Elena's kind of a tank. Sylvia's a like hybrid support and damage at the moment. She's pretty good in dive comps. You know, you can heal your frontline diving in and then provide damage yourself with bite combo. But she's kind of in a difficult spot. Like, I don't think she's insanely good, but I think it requires the pilot to be pretty good to play her. Okay, so codes. Making sure you guys have all your codes caught up. If you haven't done the code from the battle pass, or I guess from the dev stream for the new season, not really a battle pass, it is Battle Maids 1026. This code expires in 3 days, so make sure to use it before then. That gets you 600 event MP, 2 skin boxes, and 2 data keys. I believe that NP lasts 7 days. And then there's also codes for each of the characters. So 2023, 1026 for October 26. And then Razi. That gets you a data box and key set as well. Bernice. That one gets you 2008 coin. Aya. 2008 coin. And Fiora. That gets you a box and key set as well. If you got the burst bite combos down, she can back end dive fights really well. Yeah, she can clean up too. She needs a little bit of support with her team to help do damage with her. Definitely not a primary damage dealer, but she's pretty good. We just talked about Adritoma and there he appears. Interesting. Yeah, those are coupons. They're given out. Get yourself some free currency. We can do some gacha rolls too. I've got 4 boxes now. See how my luck is. Feline needs help. I heard, was it you, Feline, and Tact were queuing? Was it going well? Where can I get these coupons? I have a link to them in my Discord. Oh, there's the Donut Sylvia skin. I already have that skin though. No slow climb. Feels good, man. Oh, I got the Priya skin. Look at that. Adriatome is here and I get the Priya skin. It's one of the few skins I don't have. Love to see it. And a homeway skin, which I think I have as well. That's not bad. Yeah, I have... Oh, I don't have this Aiden skin. Well, pick that up as well. Top tier skin for real. Bottom tier character though. Fuck Priya, hate that character. We're almost at our Shoichi tokens. I'm 150 off now. But alright, let's get started. Let me get the submissions up. So as always, we always take the first submission because I appreciate everyone that submits. Let me just refresh. I think we have 10. Yeah, we have 10. Won't get through all of them, but we'll do our best. So first submission this week is from WigglytophTTV. Wiggly or Toph, depending on which fandom you prefer. Is that like Wigglytuff from Pokemon and Toph from Avatar, Last Airbender? If so, I'm calling you Toph because I fucking love that character. And it's a Priya game with a pre-made team under Silver. We've only been playing 3 weeks and have been trying to learn. We all have MOBA experience like Smite, League, Heroes of the Storm, Pokemon Unite, etc. But this game is tricky, so maybe your overall review and how to not fall behind on mastery. Perfect. Well, welcome to the game. I hope you enjoy it. We will talk about Eternal Returnizing your MOBA experience, because it is quite a learning curve. I'm sure you've got some good mechanical properties, but we'll work on some macro. Feline did actually submit, yes. We'll see if we get to him, but there's 2 Priyas in this game.
It's all about skill. You sound like a teacher.
Okay, I've started in the top loot zone. This one's fine because it's near the teleporter. Grab flowers early, probably depending on your build. We'll see what zones you can grab flowers in if you need them right away. I believe Priya has a movement speed buff somehow. Is it W into Q? Oh, it's just Q. Okay, good. I'm glad you're using your movement speed in between boxes. That's good. It's a good tip. You don't have a like dash or any type of mobility spell like that, so make sure you are using your movement speed well. Q, but you need W leveled? Gotcha, okay. Oh, also feel free to jump in, Adri, with Priya tips. That is not a character I know too well. You beat the other Priya, which is also super good. Make sure you're crafting in between boxes though. Like, make sure you pick up your loot. You don't want to get everything stolen by the other Priya. It looks like you have everything though, so you should be good. But just in case you do have doubles like that, you want to try and loot your inventories full as quick as possible. Day 1, we're here in Beach. You have some boars that you can group up together. Good, I like that a lot. It's a concept that's a little bit more advanced than 3 weeks, so I'm glad to see that you're putting that together. Your team here is Abby and Vanya. I imagine Priya's solo animal hunt isn't that great, so you probably want to be grouping up with them for night 1.
Take bets that you can catch more people.
Your Abby's also picking up kills, which is nice. Good. I like the night 1 group. Catching Jackie is always a tough task, but she didn't take the speed gate. Could have grabbed that speed gate right there. It might have helped. I don't know if you'll be able to chase her down. At some point, though, she's probably just going to get away, so you do want to be looking for bears on night 1 if you can. We're not in a bear zone, and we kind of left beach, but we did do it to chase a kill, so I'll forgive it. But there are hunts here that you want to be taking as well. You can group those up, the boar and the bat. Jackie, really hard to catch, so... Q and W can be used while E is active, but not all. Oh, Pigeons is also here. I forgot Pigeons is, I believe, a Priya player as well. Got lots of Priya players. So typically with hunt rotations, you want to look for wolf camps during the day and bear camps during the night. And then on day 3, it sort of like splits to everything on the night. But for the early game, you want to be using this time to farm up and then contesting your night 1 objective. In this comp, you probably want to look to get Empress online first for Vanya, just so that she has 30% CDR and then can kind of like help you through the fights. So I would group up for a tree, which it looks like you guys are doing in Sem, so that's the right play, I would say. Food seems to be okay. You're getting your transitions online too, or your prep for your transitions, which is all good. My cat's snoring, so sorry if you can hear it. Vision console is always good to have too, just so that you guys can see if people are gonna sneak up on you. You guys do have it, which is good, and you have a free tree. So right now, I'd look with this radar scan. You can see that these 2 meteorites are open. You can try to make a play on these 2 meteorites, but the more reliable play would just be to walk down here for factory. You have a mutant horde coming up here. You also have the archery one. With no one at these meteorites, I would imagine that people are going to be scrambling to try and get to a TP to get to one of those. I think really good play you can make is take the horde here and then look for either the wolves in hospital or the wolves in factory, and then try and make a TP up into archery and grab those wolves as well as the horde up here. You would have to be really quick. I would almost start moving while one person is connecting the tree, so you might just get wolves down here, but you basically want to look up what's like the highest priority on the map and then try and assess like what the risk versus reward is. I think lots of teams would show up to these meteorites seeing them both free, which is kind of odd that no one has, but yeah, so you made the play to go to the meteorite. Realistically, after getting one objective, there should be teams here, so I wouldn't be... Oh, that's not your Abigail. Never mind, it's a different Abigail. But regardless, people are showing up to the meteorites. This is still free, so this is a ton of XP that you can get. What do you think about Isaac? I think he's a really good front line. I think he needs one other CC character to accompany him, but he's pretty good on his own. Lots of teams here grouped up for Battle Zone. Gonna get a fight here in a second. Good focus here onto the Rousey, push her out of the fight, which is good. You're kind of peeling with Ivania. You guys have endless shields together, so it's going to be really hard to kill you guys. As long as you two stay mostly together, you guys can keep shielding each other, and that Vanya is going to be very hard to kill. Watch out for corridors against Ava, of course. She flashes forward, so kind of that's your cue that she overextends. A little unfortunate. I think that was a winnable fight. Kind of had to capitalize on the Ava a little bit quicker, but good that you recognize that once your Abby went down, the fight's kind of lost, so you're trying to get out of there. Just be careful with the way that you're running. Probably a little bit safer to run up this way. These teams are probably funneling from Hospital Wolves into Factory, so it's kind of likely that you might run into them. You're gonna get a free battle zone here, it looks like, but just be careful doing that when your team is dead. They should respawn in time, though. Now, one thing that you can do is you can look for an alpha that's nearby your battle zone, but the other thing you can do is also look for hordes. There's the temple one, so temple probably would have been the best battle zone to go to. You can walk down, get the stream bears, and then walk back up into temple to get these bears. Typically, you want to take the stream bears first because those are the ones that are accessible to everyone, and then if you win this battle zone, these are yours. Free Stratos likes to put it, you take the split custody bears before your own, which I agree. There's also one in beach that you can TPA to, but with no battle zones nearby, it's a little riskier. Team kind of taking this fight without you is a little questionable. They probably thought they could gap. It's fine. Just make sure that you get your transitions slammed before you take those fights, and then you can probably fight it together. It's a good chance that with this being a battle zone here and you running down, like they would have to run into you to go to the cemetery, or they would trap themselves in stream and have to run up, so you probably would have ran into them anyways. You didn't have to force that hard. But it's still night 2, so you don't have to worry about permadeath yet. It's okay to limit test. Just be careful about it. Now we're at night 2. We're not in a bear zone again, so I would once again look for bears for the nighttime. It might have been a pretty good play to run up to here to grab these bears if you weren't going to check alpha right away, or once you saw that alpha was taken. And as we approach day 3 in permadeath, we want to start looking for possibly a purple box that we can grab. There's one in dock. It's likely that these were taken, the bears that here were taken, because it's already a minute into the night, so you can assume that a team is gonna be at this purple box. You might have to fight them for it. Or you can go for forest tree and meteorite. They're together, basically trying to evaluate what the highest amount of reward is. This one's just a tree over here, so you might not want to go for this one unless you're over here from the bears anyway. This is just a purple box, but it's likely that you might be able to run up from fire station, make a call in here, and then grab the purple box in alley. You do get these bears, which is good. Typically, these won't be there 2 minutes into the night, so good for you that you guys get them. I would also look to grab this purple box then, since you are the ones that got these bears. You're pretty strong. And also do some like assessment of your resources. You know that you got Semtree, you got a battle zone win. There's not going to be many teams that are as strong as you. This Camillo is very scary. Hopefully you run from him at all costs. And now that you're getting another purple box, you should know that you're one of the rather stronger teams in the lobby. Interesting that Vanya didn't go Empress with the tree. Not picking up the purple box here, or did I miss it? Definitely should have went down to pick that up if you didn't. Can't tell in spectator mode because it glitches all the time, but... yeah, good that you got your TP off, but you want to be more together when permadeath is available. You guys are really split up. You have Vanya here in Uptown, especially as a pre-made 3. You don't want to be moving without each other too much. Good that you got this purple box. You probably saw that was free with radar scan.
This is the beginning.
Your Abby's pretty strong, so she's able to run down Alonzo, but generally you want to stay together when you can. 250 credits for revive is not great. You want to avoid it.
Are you still watching over me?
Day 3 is a super popular call-in time as well. If you're new, the spectating does bug at day 3. This is day 3 right now. It just says night 2. But I would look to spend some credits too. You have almost 500 on you and Vanya, so definitely look to make some call-ins. In this comp, you and Vanya are kind of the last-ditch, like, people that are going to die. More so probably Vanya than you, because you don't have a mobility spell. But she can probably save for res. You probably don't need to both save for res, so look to spend your credits when you can. Abby 100% is going to be the first to die in fights most of the time, because she has to get in there to do all the damage. So we approach night 3 as well. You can do the evaluation again. You see Omega with 1 purple box over here is a pretty good. There's also 2 purple, actually I think one of these is already taken, but there's 1 purple box here in alley and 1 purple box in stream. Stream has spares, so I would either look for Uptown, Omega, and then your respawning bears because you'll have the timer for them as well. Or look for these stream bears, which are respawning soon, and this purple box. I'm glad that you are grabbing these wolves here in archery. As I said on day 3, it sort of flips, so our wolves will be here at night, as well as the horde respawning. But you also want to be looking for objectives as well. Blood call in for Abby. So far so good though. I like the way that you guys are playing. Just gotta stay together a little bit more. It's also one thing if this is like a norms lobby versus a ranked lobby, like you can try and like make your plays. Getting hit by boar, there's a little bit troll. Your team gonna have to 2v3 for a little bit. I like that you're staying up with Vanya again. That's a pretty good fight. You guys stayed pretty clumped up here, which is good other than the one boar. Alt usage was okay. I think it stops the dive from Alonso, but want to make sure that you're getting good value out of your ultimates. Basically, you want to play off charm as well. It's kind of your best tool. You use it to engage fights, use it to stop engages. Abby calling in for you is nice as well because she doesn't need her credits. I like this a lot. Pick up 4 score here. Can look for holy orders. When I queue into a comp like this, I like to cheat up and have them focus me, and when they do alt and totem, yeah, good call here. We're emote, so do have to be a little bit careful compared to playing with totem, but yeah, you want to try and bait out and engage if you can with your alt. You know, you don't have to hit a 3-man dancing alt every time. That's obviously the dream, but if anything, you want to at least be stopping engages. Hayes is obviously not going to dive, and Alonso does want to dive. And they have their own Priya as well, who's not really going to dive, but you can look to peel off Alonso. I know he's got a lot of CC immunity, but typically he will at some point have his shield broken. Radar scan, you probably saw this team of calling in over here in police stations. Look to hit vision console first if you can. It'll help you spot out enemy team, especially if they're grouped up in the bush. Tight corridor is a little tough for you guys. Charm is good. It's good for Vanya as well. It's kind of good for Abby, but it's also really good for Adri and Elena. Looks like you'll just mess them though. Day 4 is kind of like the nothing day of Toronto Return in my opinion. Rossi really far forward here. You can look to engage on her. That's a much better ult. Stop the Elena engage. Just careful about what you're standing on. I think that was a straight puddle freeze. But good that you're getting shields down to everyone. It's really good as well. Vanya should be able to finish that off. Yeah, nice. Much better fight there. I like that one a lot. Just, yeah, again, be careful of standing on the puzzle. Standing on the puddle. I think Elena only got 1 Q on you and she was able to freeze you just because the puddle was under you. It's not too big of a deal if you get frozen in that instance, but just trying to stay conscious of things. Taking that fight there is okay, I think, because you guys have a ton of movement speed and can get to Wick on time, but just be careful about taking fights when Wick is spawning soon, as if a team is doing it on spawn like this, they will be able to get it without you contesting. You have a ton of credits again, 300 across. What's the credit button? I don't know what the credit button is, but probably look to spend your credits again too on night 4. At day 5, you don't need to save credits for res anymore. You'll want to grab stuff like double guillotines and cams, but you should be well okay with how much credits that you have. So make some final call-ins. Your Vine is almost full build. Your Abby, preferably you'd want fully transition. It's not great Abby ult there. This is going to be a tough fight. Really good ult out of you there to kind of save Vanya, but we engaged on the Alonso, which is questionable. Now, luckily you are much stronger than that team, so that worked out. But typically in that kind of comp, you'll either want to try and play it front to back slower, or have Abby dive onto the Sylvia or Ava, preferably Ava. Good job getting the res there. You also want to be careful fighting in the zone that the Wick team was just in. That's an easy third party for them. At this point too, you should know that they're somewhere around the zone. You'll be able to see them here, so you need to run away. I wouldn't take this Wick fight because they have Wick buff. You should be able to time it out with how much zones are left. Really good Vanya ult there, but I think it's, yeah, it's kind of just a Wick gap for how much damage they did to you. You know, you play that exact same fight without them having Wick buff, and I think you guys win it, right? Like, they literally won it just from extra damage. So either like run it back down to forest and try and time them out. You might get pinched at the gate, but preferably you don't take that fight with the other team, that even though you won it, and you just get yourself into a safe zone so you don't get third partied. Hayes can, or not Hayes, Abby can win this, I think. Depends what she ults. Yeah, if she ults the E, she needs to back up. Yeah, I think she needed to back up, like bait a drop step and then walk forward and W to get the shield, but good try. It's a little bit of mechanical stuff there. You guys do look pretty good for only 3 weeks of playing. You can definitely see the other MOBA knowledge, so it's just about eternal returnizing everything. I'd stick together a little bit more than you guys did. Try to pick target selection for fights a little bit better. But that all comes with just learning what characters do. So, pretty good first game, though. Thank you for submitting. All right, so another thing just for like how not to fall behind on mastery for like hunting is make sure that you're in the right zone for the right hunts, like wolves for day hunts, bears for night hunts type of thing. I'm gonna be putting out a lot more guides on season 2 as well, now that the game's a little bit more like stabilized and not like up and down with what they're deciding. There's like a few things I'm waiting for, like how to play final zones. I want to do a guide on that, but I'm still waiting for them to kind of flush out how final zones are going to be. But other than that, you guys look pretty good for 3 weeks. I don't have my wheel open. I got my wheel. All right, let me get my names in. Hopefully that helps out though. All right. Next up, we will have. Oh, there you go, Feline. you're up second. Hey, I'm new to the game and trying to learn to be better. Do you know when submissions will reopen? Yeah, so the end of the season, I believe, is October 25th on the night / 26th of the morning. Then we'll have 2 weeks of preseason. And then I believe the new season starts on November 9th morning. So I'll probably put up submissions November 9th, and then the first stream will be November 17th. I'm excited, Feline. You've been getting a lot better as a player. Which one are you? You 8? You're 8. Okay. Feline, FJ, Jay, Matt, whatever is comfy. Playing Nicky with a pre-made team. Overall, I'm looking for what I can improve on as a player, micro, macro, and team fighting. He likes Feely J. That's young Feely J. Yeah, Feline, the like mini rap battle that you and Adri had, my partner still quotes it like often.
There's no such thing as luck.
Oh, double spawn.
It's all about skill. You sound like a teacher.
Okay. So I don't hate what you did. You ran immediately to this box. If you're gonna path towards this hyperloop, I think I'd rather see you do what Hyunwoo did and run up to this box. I would probably take these 3 over these 2 and this one-off one. So I think immediately, you know, like just path the same way as him and then just gap him on the loot. I think unless you need like a ton of loot, you need 2 lighters, so maybe not. It's a tough call. I think that's kind of a judgment call, but I think because you can queue over the wall as well, like I would definitely like path behind him, queue this wall, and then try and get to this car before him. I think like you should be able to outpace him. Need to help him finish his build faster so he can grief better. You know, some agey griefing. Sorry, I missed the temple shenanigans. My bad. Kind of the same build as him, which is unfortunate. Do you get an empty spawn here in temple? Yeah, you did. Okay. You got someone coming in too, so good that you're getting your loot before them. Troll ISIL Q. Do you need leather this early? If you don't need leather this early, I would hold off on the leather. I'd also probably like make sure that like the dash part of your queue is happening as the ISIL stuns you to help save time. I would like get your build here. I guess you do need leather for gloves, so maybe you have to pick up 1, but I pick up 1 to get your weapon and then get the leather off these boars probably. Also, want to be crafting when your mobility spell is down. Your Q is up currently, so you could be like either getting to your next zone or getting to your loot or hitting these boards at the same time. Remind me to show it after the game. One thing you can do when you're need animal hunts but you don't have a ton of weapons, instead of just like sitting there like basic attacking the boars, especially if you're an amp character, is that you can attack the boars and then craft and then wait for your cooldowns to come back up and then attack and then craft and then wait for your cooldowns to come back up and then attack again to finish them off. That's generally much quicker than just like burning your cooldowns and then sitting there auto attacking. I have a little question. Will the current battle pass end the 26th or will it remain till November at the start of the season? It says like 15 weeks on it, so I think it's, yeah, it's still got some time on it. Especially there's chickens here too. You could probably just grab leather off those chickens. I'm glad you grouped them together, unlike the temple ones. You know, AoE on Q2 is probably enough to kill the chickens, so. I don't really think you're slow for your build. I mean, you probably want to aim for like 45 seconds left in the day one, because you do have like some doubles, and school is like a rough zone to loot if you're not right by the hyperloop. Like that, we're clearing out hospital. This is good. You probably want to group for like a bear zone. Adritoma on the 11. Crazy. I would look for bears a little bit quicker than what we're doing, or at least have like a teammate there for bears as well. You could have picked up these stream bears. It's 11 kind of nice with it. All right. Look at this inventory. This is a G-Work inventory. Block the bike. Okay. You push them into the wall, which is kind of the same thing as blocking the bike. But you do have blink up, so it's kind of just safer to just blink in front of them and then parry, I think. Magnus has a really slow startup. That goes for any character. If Magnus is in like alone or in a position where like he can die and he's going to try and bike out, be sure to try and get in front of him to block the bike. Grouping up for tree. This comp, I kind of hate this comp, but it's fine, I guess. It's a lot of single target lockdown with Nicky Cicella. Did you guys hit console when you got here? You did, which is good. Big taunt. Take advantage of this team only having 2 people here, which is good. I don't know what you blinked. I'm gonna assume that you blinked something. What did we blink here? Okay, we kind of flashed for fun, but typically you want to flash CC or large amounts of incoming damage. You don't want to just blink for fun, but that's okay there because you guys do get the kills still. You guys are rewarded with bears as well that weren't taken here, which is nice. Is this a rank game? I'm gonna assume this is a rank game. Tree pickup here, you also would have gotten radar scan to be able to see if there's teams at the hordes. I would immediately TP to archery with no team here. You'd be able to pick up some wolves and the horde up there. Fire station also has wolves as well, but it doesn't have a horde. It's not a bad middle ground. I think for your comp, shield battle zone's pretty awful, but it's also close to temple horde, so I don't think it's bad if you guys were to take that one. I think fire station and run over the temple is also decent. There's no bears in fire station though. We'll have to see where alphas spawn. I feel like we could be greeting for some more, like some better hunts for this though. Like we're police station, fire station are okay, especially if you're not actually going to get these fire station wolves, then it's not great. We didn't get any wolves, but we had all of archery open with a horde. Permafrost comes out, good transition. This team player 11 holding dogs for you. Picking up these wolves is good. I am glad that you are getting some wolves out of it. You should be able to path up here, grab this bear, grab these wolves, and then probably TP into a battle zone and make it in time if you're in battle zone. Okay, you got the alpha right here. So I probably would go police station and fortify the bears and then just try and get a quick, or fire station rather, and get a quick alpha after. I don't think you can kill teams in a shield zone with this comp, personally, but you might be able to time out teams. I think whatever game plan you decide is good. If you decide to go stream or fire station, you chose fire station, which is good. Hopefully your 11 gets there in time. Good parry. Glad that you didn't engage while your 11's away. So good play there. Good for the Felix. Good chain CC there. Taunt into Nicky ult. Good playing defensive until the reset for cooldowns. Ooh. Got canceled by the Magnus. Okay, one thing. Okay, so right here is good, right? You guys pick the Felix, and then you already have the member advantage. Once you have like the team advantage, you don't have to play dive anymore, especially when this is not a marksman. If this is a marksman, you probably have to maybe still diver. You can't let them free hit. But in the case of mage plus one other person that's not a marksman, you can kind of front to back with the member advantage. I don't think it's a bad play if you like just queue Magnus here. Like you guys can just get some damage down on Magnus, force him to back up. Aya's can only provide W. Like she has no way of like melting your team, right? Like it's just Aya. This is also a little bit more advanced. One thing that you can do is because you know that this is going to explode, it's going to be hard to pay attention to while mid-fight, but if you are paying attention to the battle zone, you'll see that this drone disappears, so that means that this is the last team in the lobby. There's only, or in the battle zone, there's only 2 teams left. So you don't have to like play hard to try and dive that. And you can just kind of like make sure that you're killing front to back. You do end up killing the Magnus anyway, so kind of front to back, but it's kind of like you just noticed it a little bit after when you had the opportunity to just like kind of beat him. So I assume pick up Mithril here. Yeah, picks up Mithril. That's good. You want to try and pick up the highest value cost, even if it's like not something that you need right away, just because you can always buy it for cheap, like the cheaper options later. And I like that you're down here for alpha. Even more of an advanced play, when this battle zone started, you could look to the gate on this battle zone to see if it like immediately goes down, because if it does, that means there's only one team in there. You can then try and like coin flip on the temple bears if you don't see any pings, if you get out of your battle zone quick enough, but that's like really far to look ahead. I know some players do that, but I wouldn't worry too much about taking all that into consideration. I just want you to be aware of these things that you can do. I think I don't always make the best decisions as a player. That's perfectly okay. You're not everyone's gonna make the correct play 100% of the time. In 10 seconds, we're going to see purple boxes, so that should dictate. You might have seen pings here in hospital, and you know that there's hunts here, so you know that this team... Oh, this is an AFK. Okay. Don't worry about it. You do see that there's a purple box here in hospital. I would stick around here, get your day 3 call-ins. You should also see that this is a wall, and know that there's at least 2 teams left in this battle zone. And because you can see the drone on the other side, you'll know that this team is probably not going to path into the hospital for this purple box and tree. They'll probably head down into dock or chapel to make a TP. With this gate going down though, you do have to probably get lights on the off chance that they do run up this way, but it's just very unlikely. True, I'm not diving with advantage. Yeah, the once you have a mismatch in numbers, you can kind of play slower. You're gonna see this chart here on radar scan. Send the 11 in. She's got the jump. And then pick up your free kill. Also pick up the purple box, and then probably pick up this meteorite. You can assess that there's no one nearby. One thing you want to pay attention to as well when these radar scans hit is not only where teams are, but also which teams have easy access to a hyperloop. This team came out at beach. They also have the AFK Chiara, so they're not a threat anyways, but just know that the team came out at beach. They would have to run all the way up to hotel. There's 2 teams in warehouse. There's no hyperloop down here. They have to run all the way to chapel. This team has to run to chapel. Like, they have a decent run. So this meteorite is probably going to be free. This purple box is probably free. You might even be able to make it to alley in time. you can probably like path up here, get the hunts in pond, get the hunts in police station, make a call, and then look up to the meteorite as well. Like you have options, so keep that in mind. Which teams are able to hyperloop quickly. This tree, you probably won't make it in time. It's likely that this team would just go for this tree anyway if they had a third player and not run up the hotel to hyperloop up here. So far so good though, you guys are making the correct play. Standing around's a little interesting. I get like you want to play safe and not risk it, but also you have to be reasonable about what you think is a threat nearby. Like 11 missing out on the XP for like the hunts up here isn't that big of a deal if it's going to save you time, right? So 11 takes the meteorite, you and Cicilla start farming up here, walk around, 11 takes the jump pad. You know, you're up here saving seconds before just before, and instead of having to jump over here, you guys can walk through your own battle zone into police station and then make it up into alley if you want to go that path. Day 3, just know in higher elo lobbies, these wolves probably won't be up. As I said, wolves are on a like 1.5 timer for a day. So on day 3, they actually come back up at night rather than day 3. Well, yeah, if they're taking on immediately on day 2 morning, they'll be up at day 3 night. So those typically won't be there in higher lobbies with hunt rotations. Big engage from the 11. Adri taunts immediately after Eing. Rookie mistake on 11. I'm not sure if Nicky Q works the same as Vi in League. If it does, you want to be queuing and then flashing to extend the hitbox range rather than flash queuing. I'll show it after this game as well to see if we can recreate it in like a practice tool, but it's more reliable, it's harder to react to. But good pickup on the Aya there. Cicilla got a really clutch pull.
Now would be a good time to watch where you're going.
Yeah, if it works the exact same way, I'll show you one thing that you can do. It's like Q flash R. It's pretty impossible to react to, but we'll see if I can do it. Fighting front to back here is not bad because they don't have a marksman. You guys don't either, so it's kind of just a damage race. Really good to push the Cicilla out. You guys played that fight really well. Corridor is a pretty good fight for you guys there. 11 gets a taunt on everybody, and you get a solid E damage. They don't really have anything that you guys have to watch out for. So not a bad fight to take there. Just be careful about vision. You probably could Q over this wall. Yeah, so that's the difference right there between flash queuing and Q flashing. No parry. My cat is awake now. 1 second, sorry about that. I just gotta deal with my cat. Sorry about that. Good parry on the ult, get your rage. A good kill. Is this purple? Okay, good. Got your gliding purple box as well. Dragon skill persona is pretty big. You should be able to kind of burn down one target between Cicilla Q, your Q ult, and 11E. I would look to, at this point, when you're this strong, when you engage on a fight,
Be a good time to watch where you're going.
burn someone down, kind of back up, do a little reset, get your cooldowns because you're all mages or all amp characters, and then look to take a fight again. When is season 2 out? November 9th.
I just need to.
You got a team here. Kind of same thing with this comp because you know they don't have a marksman. You can play it front to back if you want. You can also look for Cicel to get some pulls. You do have to be careful about ulting into the hedge, and if she takes you on a ride, she'll take you too deep. You'll just get burned down. Careful with parrying. One thing that I did, and this one I actually know for a fact because I was studying glove play Nicky for a while for someone else. The biggest part about playing Nicky in the Hedgen is actually parrying the fear, not necessarily the W shuriken combo. So just make sure you're looking out for that when you're fighting against Hedgen. That's the biggest issue for Nicky. I watched him eat 30 Ws in a row, just waiting for the fear to parry instead. Good dive in, good parry on the Dylan ult. Good re-engage too. I'm glad you picked the Dylan because she was closer and not going too deep for the other Nicky. Fuck this box. Make sure you're helping your teammate out first. Be able to see what... Okay. Replay broke, but we'll go back in a second. We're at 1550. Thanks, replay. Because that, like, you're not like, even if you do get that box, like, it's just gonna sit in your inventory anyway, right? Like, I know you have cooldowns, but you're better off just getting to a safe distance than trying to help with the fight and then taking that box. Like, you can put pressure with your body. You can put pressure by like taking away an escape. I would just wait for that fight to finish before taking that box. And if you lose that box because of it, it's not that big of a deal. It's better than losing the game. All right, return. I've been feeling better about the way I play, but there are better characters than mine, so sometimes I feel like I don't do much. I feel like it's a role thing, right? Like, as much as like I do joke that Alonso is better than Nicky, like Alonso doesn't do any fucking damage, right? So like Nicky still has her place as like single target lockdown damage dealer. But I get what you mean by that. You also have to like remember your responsibility. Like Nicky's not 1v3ing a fight anytime soon. Sorry, this is gonna take a little while. The fastest I can go is 3 times, but I don't want the replay to break to get back. But like thinking of Nicky's role in the fight, like you're not a primary damage dealer, right? And you're not like a primary tank either. You're almost a utility player. So like you getting your ult and locking down one target is kind of the equivalent of like a marksman popping off in a fight 1v3, or like a tank like soaking a full team's combo and like interrupting their abilities with like his own CC. Like it's kind of just like your role as Nicky doesn't have anything flashy to do with it, which is a little upsetting, but I don't think like you should feel bad by not like having any like pop-off plays or like big moments in a fight. I apologize that this is going to take a while to get back to, but I really don't want to just like try and click and break the replay again. Do we have any Nicky players, by the way, here? Does anyone know if Q flashing extends the hitbox on Q? Nicky puts her full strength in the... Okay, it's not gonna like... Yeah, I don't know. We'll see if you can do it, because that'll be a very good like mechanic to learn if you can do that consistently. I fuck it up all the time whenever I play Vi. One thing I didn't mention earlier that I also should mention is that when you are in these type of lobbies, right? Like this is a 7-man lobby instead of an 8, with 2 teams wiped already on day 2. Like with only 5 teams left in the lobby and this many zones still open on the map, you can play a little bit more greedier than normal. You can take hyperloops a little bit more leniently, just because there's less likely that you're going to run into someone on the map, especially around radar scans when you just see people. Okay, we're almost back.
Someone ran away. Cowards. They made the best choice.
I do want to see that fight in Chapel again, though. Oh, this is the forest fight. Okay, we'll watch the forest fight. Hey, Snowy, how's it going? So, Noob Tova W's gets it canceled. Like that, you're hard chasing this because there are only 2 people. That Q there is a little unfortunate. You know, you want to try and layer your CC, so get your Q down on the pole. Just be a little bit quicker if you can, but good parry into the kill.
You need to be prepared too.
Especially with a character like that, like I with her dash, like she's probably gonna hold E to reactive to your Q, but as if you're that close to her, she kind of has to E immediately, and if you hold it, you can just Q to where she's Eing to instead. Okay, this fight I want to see. So good 11 engage. You guys burned the helmet down, which is good. He's out of the fight at this point, right? Like we pushed him out of the fight, and then we turned our target into the 11. Cicella's too far away for anyone to hit, so this is fine. We can all focus the 11 until these 2 come back into play without burning any major cooldowns. She fails her dash, and now she's pushed out of the fight. You have your 11 zoning their Cicella off, which is good because this 11 is no longer a threat, and you guys can burn down the Hyunwoo, so I really like that. Then your 11 regroups, and you guys kill her. With just Cicella left, you guys can finish off bodies and then look to heal in case you get third-partied, so I would do that first. But other than that, it's fine because you don't have vision in this zone. Can't flash while channeling Nicky Q or mid dash like Vi just tried. Okay, no worries. So don't worry about that mechanic then. That you do need to parry, I think. That's just reaction time thing. I also think you can hold Q to cut the corner and probably make it a little faster, but it's probably not that big of a deal. You're going to catch her anyway. She chooses the ult, which is a little weird because she's going to give you rage for that, but...
You need to be prepared too. All right, let's keep it going. I expect no less. I just need to rest for a bit. I'm not tired though.
Busy with uni stuff? Hope it's going well. This is right around a radar scan too, so on day 4 you're gonna see this team is in warehouse and probably gonna run at you guys with purple box and meteorite being in chapel. But at the very least, you're aware that this team is here because of radar scan.
Now would be a good time to watch where you're going.
Okay, so we flee from them originally. We know 11 has E cooldown.
I just need to rest for a bit. I'm not tired.
I do think making a call in here is a little troll, especially with knowing this team's nearby without vision of the zone. So I definitely wouldn't have made that call in right now, especially with how close of range they are. It's one thing if they ran for vision console, right, and you saw pings like over here, you probably could, but with no pings and like not knowing where they are, this is a little kind of a crazy call in. That would probably be a question mark ping. So we're in a tight corridor with a hedging, which is never good, and we're split off. It's one thing to like force a fight, but it's also like another thing to like not be in danger threat. Like you guys can easily just walk up this way and around, or Adri can walk up this way around, or Adri can walk up to the stage and just hop over the wall and join you guys. Like, I get we're trying to like save this mithril, but you want like you guys have had like 4 successful fights already, so you kind of know how your comp wants to engage. Especially because they chose to like try and chase Adri and not try and engage, like hard engage on the 2 of you. You probably actually had to parry that, so that was probably a good parry. But realistically, you want to be looking for the fear and probably just not walking up. Adri is going to engage here. Kind of like, I'm going to roast you guys a little bit. I'm assuming you guys are all in a call, so there probably should be some cleaner comms about who's going in and who's like trying to run away. But we're starting this fight. You're under half health. Your Cecile is at half health. And now Adri is about to take free poke from a Hedgen, has like lead island pathing towards him and is on top of their Nicky, and it has already burned taunt, right? Like we've already used our tools to try and survive. All we have left is ult, so you also have a force court and a tree in your inventory, which is a little insane that you jumped in there, but it's probably an ego jump in. We're also running through Shuriken skill and possibly going to get hit by this nunchuck skill. You do make a good job of dodging it, but at this point you kind of just sacrifice the 11, I think, and get yourselves out. It's not really winnable being on quarter HP and half HP to try and win this fight, but I would kind of just sacrifice. Their Hedgen for some reason walks away, so I guess you guys do have a good angle to try and burn down this Nicky if you can. This is a little too deep. I would have tried to hit her while she was up here before she steps back. Hedgen does burn evil. Oh, this is a tough fight. I think you can make this play if you have like totem, but I think with like blink, like you either have to like, I think you parried the ultimate, which was good, but you either have to like blink out immediately after or parry. But you do make a good parry on the lead island ult. I'm glad you didn't try to like commit to the kill before getting your parry down. But at this point, like I think Cecile probably should have been resting this whole time, but you disengaged for sure. This ult's okay. You will have to blink back out, I think, realistically, if Hedgen put a W under you. Okay, good that you didn't get hit by it. She kind of put it in a weird spot. I would have put it more towards the corridor, but your Cecile kind of walked into that a little bit, and then we get burned down here. It's a little unfortunate. You parried into the W, I think, too, instead of down, so that's a little unfortunate, but overall, though, I don't think I like that whole fight just didn't have to happen, I don't think. I think Adri just plays for the revive here. Adri you're gonna greed for a gold box? Okay, he's just getting out. Okay, good. I'm glad you didn't greed for that gold box, but yeah. Hopefully the fight psychology for that helps a little bit. Adrian does have enough credits to revive one of you. Cicella has enough for the other, which is good. This is a good zone to pick, I think, for the console. I'm glad you picked police station and not gas station. However, there is a team here that's not gonna run at you guys. Okay, they do. Yeah, so 11 needs to walk up here and make as much space as possible. You guys are now on good health. That's a good taunt. We missed parry because we taunted during the, or we parried during the taunt, which is a little unfortunate. But we are kiting back well. I'm glad that you guys are not afraid to play in red because you have the timer. That was good. If you tried to hold the, like the line to conserve your timer, you definitely would have been wiped there. So really good play to back up into red. It's honestly a play that you don't see a lot of people doing, even in like my Mithril games. So yeah, your red timer is a resource, so consume it if it means you're gonna win a fight. With 2 teams left in the lobby and you know that team was in chapel, if you don't see pings in this area, you send it on the Blick immediately. I think that you guys made the right play, especially if you have your map open while doing this. You can see that they're on console here rather than contesting you on Wick, so really good play to get this Wick. And now you basically, you want to try and get your fight in before they time it out, right? Like they have 2 minutes before they're forced into gas stations, so they shouldn't be able to time out your Wick. But knowing that they're at this call-in at school, I would look to like try and hold one of these gates, try to either force them to hyperloop into a gas station or to take a fight with you while you have Wick. You did make some last minute call-ins, so it is okay that you didn't get there in time, but I think holding that gate here is a higher win rate than trying to play for this final fight with call-ins. Because you can call in traps on the way, like you can force them into making a decision about how to enter. You also should see pings for them up here. You can walk up with 11, try and hold this bush. Yeah, if you see pings here, there shouldn't be any reason that they'd be in this bush. So I think you guys could walk up a little bit earlier. Walking into vision. Dylan has no Qs. I like splitting off hedge in here. Once again, we got taunt canceled. We are diving a little deep, and we didn't parry the Dylan ult, so we kind of explode instantly. I know we wanted to cut off the hedge in here, but I think we pulled the trigger a little bit too early on the dive. I know you probably wanted to try and blow her up immediately, but it is a hedge in. She does have self peel with her E. She does have ways of getting out, and then we did blow taunt or blow parry, not hitting the Dylan. So a little slower. I think you could play that fight, especially with Wick buff. You know, they're gonna run away from you regardless. So good try though. Not a bad game by any means. A few things. Let me see if I can show you the animal hunting thing though, just so that's a bit quicker for taking leather.
What do you want? Leave me alone.
Good work. I didn't end up submitting this time. Gotta get back to work. We'll watch later. Thanks, Yuki. Appreciate it.
I can use my full strength? Awesome.
So I obviously don't have the routing because I don't have the items, but like just one thing that you can do. I'll just wait for these. Oh, I'll see if I can do the thing while we wait. But I don't think you can. Or I could just let it expire. Yeah, you can't. Okay. So don't worry about what I was talking about earlier then. Oh, is that not actually advanced time? Okay, that doesn't advance animal spawns. But when you're in this and you're taking your loot, you know, you can aggro these boars. They're gonna charge, and then you start looting and crafting. Use your abilities. And then while they're on cooldown, you loot and you craft again. Now your queue's back up. Then you loot and you craft again. Don't get charged, obviously, but and then you finish off the boars. That's much quicker than like sitting there auto attacking. But yeah, don't worry about the Q flash. It doesn't look like you can do it. Yeah, you can't. It's unfortunate that doesn't work that way, actually. I personally hate Nicky Cicel 11 as a comp. I don't like it at all. But I'm assuming, Adri, you're not playing Adriana on Smurf. I mostly use your flash for gap closing. I think, yeah, you can. I think the later into the game, when you're more susceptible to being burned down, you might want to save it for defensive, but definitely in the early game, you can use it to gap close. Just make sure you're accurate with the flash cues. I was gonna say, Adela's really good with Nicky. Nicky Adela is a pretty good pairing. See what kind of works with everybody. You want, like, so like the thing with like 11 and Nicky is that they've got very reliable lockdown. You know, 11 able to taunt a whole team, and Nicky has point and click ultimate, which makes like Queen really deadly because basically you don't have to aim it. You know, when you're playing like Cicella with Nicky, like what are you really locking down a target for like Cicella QE? Like that's not one shot potential unless the Cicella is like super ahead, right? Like I wouldn't worry about it. Trying to like lock someone down when you're playing with like mage plus tank. Sorry to bother again, but it's just kind of wanted to buy the battle pass, but H. Thomas said as long as you don't buy it. So if I buy it now, I'll lose it in 5 to 6 days. I don't think you will. The pass I believe has like 15. Yeah, it's got 15 weeks. You won't be able to purchase it in 5 to 6 days, but I think you can. You can still have this one. As long as you don't purchase the next one, I think. Yeah, you've got like 14 weeks and 5 days to finish this one. Just if you buy the season 2 one, it gets rid of this one, I think. No problem. Also, definitely not a bother. Feel free to ask any questions. Next up, we have Joshua. Nope. This one. This one here. I believe you play on KR, right? If I remember. It's not a pre-made team. They're playing Daniel. First impossible win from the back foot behind an items mastery scorecard. Also point out all my mistakes in pathing and objectives prior and other cheap alternatives for transitions. My trouble is still in ER is in fact that I can't plan ahead on alternate transitions whenever the conditions aren't ideal for my preset build. Okay, well that's going to depend on the character. I think Daniel really only needs 3 transitions. I think he just goes like frag plus red shoes, or frag plus chain of thorns plus red shoes, I think, but we'll see. I think with Assassin's Soul, you're pretty feast or famine, where I didn't mean to close that, where like if you don't get your transitions, there's not really much you can go from like a budget wise. It's not like a mage where like you can kind of like slot in Scotty instead of Dragon Scale type of thing. Fan account. Yeah, the real Adriatoma would not show up here. That guy's got a high horse to ride somewhere or something. I'm just kidding.
Time to riot. You're so crass.
Okay, depending on your routing, you probably wouldn't grab branches here. If this build is the Uptown Chapel build, you can probably grab branches at the Hyperloop near Chapel, but we'll see where you go. I wouldn't waste time trying to kill that chicken. It's 2 extra auto attacks. So a little slow getting out of Uptown. You do want to try and be a little bit quicker than that. They're also like you spawned on branches here. Like these would have been much quicker to take than the ones in Uptown. This is a good spawn in police station because you're kind of near the temple hyperloop. So make sure you loot these. Make sure you're crafting while looting when your inventory is full, when your E is down, because that's your mobility spell. It'll help you save time here. Same with E, we want to be trying to use it like over walls particularly. Like I know you probably just realized that you didn't have an item and went back for it, but you want to be a little bit quicker. Same thing with boars, you probably want to finish weapon first. They're a little bit slow, especially if you don't need leather. Also, if you're planning on leaving the zone 2, you probably want to start with this box at the top, the one that you're at now, and then loot downwards instead of upwards. It'll just be a little bit quicker. It's also a green weapon, Isaac here, who is crafting weapons, so you could send it on him to force him out of your zone. Now that he has weapon, he might run at you, but you had the advantage there for a small amount of time. Especially because we were close to this hyperloop as well. So if you pushed him out, you could have just kept walking this way into that hyperloop. TP into Uptown. Kind of TP in the middle of a team here. Probably want to look to be TPing with your team. Unless you need... what? I need a bracelet. They had a teammate in stream here. You probably could have TP'd on them and grabbed a bracelet in either pond or stream. I forget which one has bracelets. Or circlets or hairbands or whatever they're called.
You need to be prepared too.
Oh, you need piano wire. Okay, never mind. Yeah, I mean, I guess either that or like Doc would have been the play, but kind of 50-50, just chose wrong. You want to be looking to get your build a little bit faster than what you had. I think if you like did the stuff to save time up here in police station, did the stuff to save time in Uptown, you would have had your build on time and could have probably contested for these Uptown bears. That's kind of the reason why we talked about speed being so like prevalent in the early game, is because of stuff like that, so that you don't get briefed trying to contest a hunt at night. I would look up to group up with your team for night one though. Something I've noticed, but why does Daniel max trait fairly early on? It doesn't seem consistent. Are you asking like which one? I've pretty much only seen Q max from Daniel. I don't think people max E or anything.
Now would be a good time to watch where you're going.
Yeah, let me get my VOD reviewed. You're a little late. Make sure you are getting your auto attacks down after you do hit your scissors. It's a big part of your kit. What do you mean by trait? Like passive? Like T? I don't know. I haven't seen too much passive max, but I also don't play too much Daniel, so I don't know. I've pretty much only seen Q max. Yeah, this was a little bit of an unfortunate fight, but I think, yeah, make sure you get your basic attacks down. Your Rozzy died pretty early for free, so not really much you can do about that. You probably should pull out a little bit quicker than what we did. I don't really like the... I call this like overwatching, when your team just kind of goes in one by one, takes bad fights and dies, and then respawns and then goes in and dies again. But I would look to probably spawn near them, but not on top of them because of this. Make sure you get your 3 auto attacks again. I know in this case it was likely you might die, so that's why you ulted, but I think you're... definitely don't want to be Wing as you're running away. It will slow you down. I think I would have looked to spawn in an open zone there. You might be able to regroup here. Whereas you're trying to group up for hunts, they're already all gone. I would look to probably just make your way towards a battle zone if you can. Rank 1 Daniel does Q passive EW. That's what I think I've mainly seen. I think I've mostly seen Q.
A moment's rest.
I would imagine the passive has... Yeah, it's probably for the movement speed, I would guess. You know, Daniel, kind of an assassin archetype, wants the movement speed, wants some damage. Didn't make it in time for battle zone. Chose to make a call in instead. They're gonna get some wolves, probably walk up here and get the bear. This Tia got a free battle zone, so that's why I probably should have gone into it, but your Rozzy made a call in, so a little unfortunate. Although you would have had a 1v1 with Tia, which would have been interesting. Was this with a pre-made team? I don't remember. I don't think it was, right? Like this, you said you were by yourself for this? Another thing you can do on Daniel is that you can start your E and then Q while you're dashing to your target. It's a little bit more challenging to do, but it's much, much quicker. Basically with Daniel, you're trying to kill as quick as possible because you don't want to be killing slow and taking damage while you're doing your combo. One of the big things about Daniel is that he's really hard to react to because of how quickly you can kill. So make sure you E, get your Q while you're mid E, and then look to get your autos and dagger skill down. Daniel, one of the few characters who has a really true 100-0 combo. I like that we are in Temple at night though. I like this a lot that we're here. We're grouped up for Horde. So look to get some XP on the bears here. You can also walk down the stream and then look for this tree. I would look to make a call in here. I believe Daniel needs frag as his transition. So maybe make a Mithril call in and then look to make that tree for Laurel down here or give it to Rozzy. This comp is a little interesting because you kind of do your own thing in it, where you're probably going to look to try and pick off a high priority target. Rozzy's going to kite backwards and Hyunwoo's going to try and wall stun or try and peel for the Rozzy. It's not the best comp, but I don't think it's terrible. It's just a lot of single target damage. Is this Hyunwoo or is this... No, this is... Okay, it's good. It's tank, which is good. Yeah, I like this Mithril call in. This is good. I would do the same. Unfortunately, you guys' early game was a little bit rough, so there's one thing for like trying to transition 5 items every game, but there's also like kind of biting the bullet and realizing like this is not going to be a 5 transition game. Like with a start as rough as you guys had, you're probably not going to get 5 transitions. You also want to be Wing mid E after your scissors. Good ult to dodge the Vanya sleep. I like that a lot. Really good kill on the Vanya there. You'll also be able to pick up a purple box, and you should be able to walk down the street. This team might get there in time, but you will be able to pick up a purple box. Yeah, I guess like your budget transition for Daniel, instead of getting Chain of Thorns, would probably be to get Laurel here. And then maybe instead of red shoes, look for your Rocker's jacket upgrade. But I don't know, it's not like a... You kind of have to settle for those. It's not really like ideal. So you should see pings on this tree here because they've started collecting it. Hyunwoo gets pulled in here. You are able to burn down Shiara really quickly. I like this disengage as well. You can wait for her ult to expire, do some healing. Razi's a little too close. She's ate the full Adriana Q as well. And then you kind of got boar trolled. I would have definitely looked to back off and reset. You know, you can't play for Razi, obviously, but if she backed up as well, it would have been better. Does your team have the credits to res? Your Razi almost has enough credits, so it's good that she didn't die, but she kind of trolled that a little bit by eating the entire Adriana Q. You'll have enough to res Hyunwoo. Yeah, another thing you have to like think about is like, every time you res, that's like 1 less transition. You're already like pretty cope with the early game, so I think at most like you would probably be happy to get 2 transitions this game. Not really anything you can do other than like that's just kind of how this game went. Razi probably can make a call in here in police station. I like that she didn't try to force the temple win because that team could have stayed by, especially with Omega coming near temple. I would look to make this call in quick bull just because you don't know how quickly teams are going to be showing up to Omega here. So she should call in you and then you call in Hyunwoo. Good job. You guys are not really in a position to contest this Omega. I think you guys can get vision here. With only 3 teams left in the lobby, it's pretty easy to run away from a team if you have to. So I don't think you have to like immediate flee. Here on radar, you can see that you're the only team nearby. You can see that there is a team in Chapel who will have access to a Hyperloop really quickly. But I think you guys can start it immediately. This team can't get to you guys unless they run through red. Or the long way around. Now Tia did TP. I think you guys could have gotten Omega quicker before this team got TP'd in, but good wait on the Tonfa skill to pop out, which is good. You guys do need to burn down Tia though. In that comp, like, I know that Isaac kind of like floored at you, but you probably should save combo for Tia because your one job is kind of trading your ult and your kit for taking one person. And in that comp, with Tia the sole damage dealer, like, you definitely want to be taking her out if you can. You should be able to get her here though. Good job. Pretty good fight from you guys. I would like to see you guys play it a little bit cleaner, play it a little bit quicker, but overall you guys did all do your jobs, so that's good. And you guys can look to take Omega here. You should have seen that this team had like a ton of time to walk around, and because you got console, they're not nearby, so you can do that and you can grab this purple chest. And that's 2 transitions at least. This 4 square probably go to Razi. She's highest mastery at this point. With this one team left, you should be looking at your like kind of options for what you can do in a fight. You know, Cicella, unless she uses bubble, you're not going to be able to kill her probably. Chiara has totem, not going to be able to kill her. So Adriana is kind of your, especially with no totem, is kind of going to be your target. Hyunwoo and Razu will probably play front to back. You can also play front to back, just kind of be aware of when Adriana steps up. You want to try and combo her while she's in her Q, just because that's the only ability that she can't E in. So that will give you some time to get your combo down. She has to stand mostly stationary, so look for that. Watch out for Chiara E. If you get rooted by Chiara E, you probably just die, or you're forced to make a bad ult. Same thing with Cicella pull. Don't want to be getting pulled in. Keep in mind when you do engage on Adriana where Cicella is, so you don't get pulled off of her. So that'd be a pretty high skill play to make, I think, especially with how quickly you can kill. I would not let this game go too long though, just because at some point in a smaller zone, like Ori and Adri are going to be able to poke you guys. You guys don't have any poke. So sooner rather than later, I would like to see you guys try and pull the trigger on a fight. We are in Wick zone at day 4 though, which is good. You do have to stop them from taking Wick, which they shouldn't. This game shouldn't go till Wick. Or until one team gets Wick, I should say. They should be stopped pretty early. Yeah, you kind of have all you have with transitions, right? Like Laurel and Frag, that's probably all I would imagine you get this game. I think if there's more teams, you could probably look to make a Meteorite call in for your Rocker's Jacket upgrade, but other than that, that's probably what you're getting. I don't really think you did anything wrong to not get transitions here. So you guys know that they're here because you see them on the console, or you see the pings on the console. They know, yeah, so that's not enough damage from your combo, but also you didn't check for vision before you dagger skilled, so they fully saw that coming. Now your cooldowns are relatively short. I would be pinging your ult, telling your team not to fight until that's back up. It's gonna be Cicilla ult down. Your cooldown should be back. And we got hit by Cherry. So that's a little unfortunate. That's like the one spell that you have to dodge besides pull. This is, we're playing a little too close, right? Like we were too close for our cooldowns and where our team was. Razzie might be able to call you back in time. Hyunwoo has a ton of credits that he didn't spend, so that's a little unfortunate that you didn't get all those credits done either. I would look to heal. That was the moment you probably could have engaged onto Adriana as she walked around that corner. Good play onto the Chiara to finish her off. You don't get her ult down, unfortunately. But it looks like your team will clean up. So good that your team kind of picked you up there. I would really practice in like practice tool getting that Daniel combo down. You know, it's E, Q while you're in E. Get your 2 auto attacks or your 3 auto attacks down with the attack speed buff. Get your dagger skill down. And right, like you'll inherently dodge a lot of spells that way too, because you'll be blinking from one side to the other. Realistically, you'd probably dodge the Cicella pull, and even if Chiara E hits you while you're engaging onto your target and getting that much damage down, like you can just ult to avoid it. So really practice getting that Daniel combo down, but overall pretty good game. As you get to the higher elos, you will have to be a little bit cleaner with executions. Okay, we probably have time to do like one more. I appreciate everyone who submits. And the last one for the day will be Briar. I believe that's is that the name of the new league character? Is it Briar? Or semi-new? I don't know. I haven't touched League in a while. Prior Carmentus. Playing Arda. Ah, so Katie, you still here? Got some Arda gameplay. Any tips you can offer would be very helpful. Okay. Arda, where is...
You're so
It's the right... Oh, there he is. Okay. Make sure we're crafting at boxes, not just in the middle of the hallway, right? Like you can eliminate some of the time you takes to loot by looting at the same time as you're crafting, but you don't want to be like one-off crafting like that. It takes up too much time. School in the temple route seems very popular. Picking up leather from chickens. It's pretty quick, so that's good. Probably... Yeah, I would group all the three of these together if you only need one leather and just kill them all at once. It'll be much quicker. Once again, crafting while you're looting will be much quicker. Typically you want to try and limit your call-ins to one call-in. Depending on the build, I'm not sure what build you're running or if Arda has to make 2 call-ins, but when you only want to call like twice if you're like behind on your build. You don't really want to try and make too many calls for your items, especially if you're at a good pace. Once again, make sure you're looting at the same time as you're crafting, unless your inventory is full. Looks like you have everything though, so just finishing up your build, which is good, and you're here in Beach. Arda, I would imagine, does not solo farm well, so you should look to group up with a teammate coming into night. You can probably group this bat up with the dog as well. Pick up the hunts there together. I would probably look to group up with your Rio as well. She's kind of like the one damage threat of this comp. You know, you'll be providing heals and utility. Estelle will be shielding and looking to ult on top of your Rio, keep her alive, but she's basically the main part of this comp. If she falls behind, you guys won't have enough damage to kill anybody. Good that you're picking up the wolves here because they're available. Rio is nearby too. That's not your Rio. That's your Rio. She's still looking for loot, so it's a little unfortunate. I'm glad you are picking up your Huntsel. Pretty much clear out this full zone, so that's good. How's your Estelle doing? Your Estelle's full build as well, so probably can look to group up with her too, either one. Your Rio might die here though, so... Okay, look to stay safe. Yeah, I'm glad you canceled your TP. Good. You know that there's no one in this zone too, which is good because you got the console, so I would just chill around here, maybe pick up these hunts in the back too, just while you're staying safe. You don't know if someone's in archery, so it's a little bit of a risky round, although at nighttime archery is pretty safe because there's no one here. And now the hunts would be here. Hunts are still here. Don't get used to that being a thing. Archery hunts typically are gone day one, especially if you have like an Adine or something in the lobby. They're typically gone. Is that the real Circadian? Is the real Circadian, brother. Rio first transition, I think she wants tree, so you probably should look to make your way towards a tree zone, especially with these hunts gone. Not a fan account. Adri wasn't a fan account with you, but he was just trolling you. bit split from your team. So there's like a philosophy about making the wrong play as a full team versus making the right play as one. Good of you to recognize that you had to get out of that situation, but I know your team walked off down here to basically nothing, but it's better to make the wrong play with them than it is to make the right play by yourself. Pretty good third party you'll pick up here. Good kill onto the Alonso. Might be able to pick up Razi too. And then I would walk forward. You want to be careful about Sua engaging on you, but you do want to make space on this meteorite if you can. Especially if your Rio's going to walk up. You know, this is a strong... Sua, Rio's a stronger 2v2 than Rio Arda, but you guys still have Estelle alive, so look to use her to push space. She might need to ult onto herself. Okay, good, she does. Rio can go in the long farm. You can pick up the meteorite, which is good. I would look to TP immediately and get out. I would RE. Yeah, okay, good. Your team kind of overchased a little bit there, but it's fine because they did get the wipe. And you got the meteorite, you can look to regroup. Just be careful in those situations because it's like if that Rio did catch you and your team had lost the 2v2 there, like that would have been a 7th wipe. So I do think you made the right play though. I don't know about keeping the meteorite for yourself though. I guess the moon is an okay transition. I would look to try and get transitions onto Rio early because she's going to carry the part of the early game damage and then try and get utility onto you. So probably would give that meteorite over to Rio for either Star of the Wilds or Spectre. Preferably Star of the Wilds. Like that you're here for wolves to get hunts in the daytime. This is good. And your wolves will be respawning because you have the timer for them. So also good. We are late into day 2. So it's not likely that you guys were the only ones that have timers on those. And I would just stay here for alpha. I wouldn't worry about trying to get to a battle zone because you are getting mutants and hunts with it. You should see these pings so you know not to start alpha yet. You can start these wolves to get them quickly, but this team will know that you're here now. It's not a good place to craft for Rio. You don't want to flee into a corridor against an Adriana Tia. You're kind of asking to get poked and like CC'd. Really good TP to get Rio out. I would look to loop around and then you can look to try and fight them. I think you guys are strong enough too. You have decent mastery. You do have the one transition over on the Arda. They don't have any. I don't think you had to give up that alpha that quickly. But you might be able to fight this team because they had a free battle zone. For your job in a team fight, you're kind of making sure you get your heals to Rio, kind of healing her, getting her out. This is really good positioning for you. I like that you're well back from the threat. Your Rio kind of got caught out there. That's not on you. Like, she should have been playing back to where you were, not you playing up to where she was. Basically, you and Rio should be that far away at all times. Letting her poke out with longbow, or Estelle should be at least in front of her trying to block. So it's not really on you. It is unfortunate that in like a single threat comp, if your carry falls behind, it's going to be a little tough. But I still think you should be funneling her regardless. Glad that you're picking up hunts. I would be careful about the call in there. Yeah. Wait for Rio to be alive to make that call in. She respawned somewhere else? She did. I don't like this play by Rio, although unfortunate that she did that. She also has no food. She's picking up food now, but she should have spawned with you guys, I think. Picking up bears here, which is good. You can infer that if these bears are up and there's no battle zone nearby, I mean, the alley people probably should have gone to temple, but you know they fought you here in gas station. So you can probably assume that this horde is up as well. Pick up the bears there. kind of giving away free XP. Okay, good. I'm glad you're kind of forcing them to follow you by going over here. And then you guys can make a call in for day 3 at this console, which is really good. Also check down for stream to see if there's bears here. They'll be respawning soon, so you can pick up these bears and probably this tree as well if you're quick enough. Hey Levi, new player to the game, would love a VOD review. Your videos have helped me a good bit. So this is the last VOD review of the season. I will be reopening VOD reviews after preseason for season 2. Be sure to submit. I post a link to the submission on my community tab and in my Discord like 8 days before I actually do the VOD review stream, so there's tons of time. I also have one-on-one coaching in my membership tab if that also interests you. But welcome to the game. I hope you're enjoying it a lot. Good job, you got the tree. This is good. Someone hopefully will check these bears. It's kind of just free XP. But make your call-ins, which is also good. You had radar scans, so you will be able to see that there's no teams nearby. And once again, we're on day 3 with only 3 teams alive, so you can be a little bit looser about how you move around the map. You know that you have archery wolves respawning soon. You know that the horde will be respawning soon. So I would look to get these bears and then path up into archery to get that XP. Creating a rotation. Good, I'm glad that you're over here checking for the bears. Rio walks into the bear stun. So super clean so far. I would look to make this TP into archery. You should see maybe pings over here that there's a team there. You can either look to fight them, try and set like a trap either in like this bush, assuming that because you know that you took all the hunts, they're either going to have to make a call in or probably walk down here and TP. So I would look to try and either group up in this bush and wait for this to turn red. Yeah, they would have walked right into you guys and you guys could have just engaged. They're not even going to check it too. That would have been a free white probably. Get a Stella onto the Tia there. So just a little heads up plays like that. Glad that you're grabbing vision console. You'll be able to see this team walk in behind you. They'll know that you're here because of the pings and seeing the cameras turn on. They're probably not going to check this bush because that's where obviously you would assume that they'd wait. So I would have sat in this bush and you would have caught in a Jackie like that, face checking. Jackie kind of leaps forward. She has no dash. You can look to burn her down. Because you have a Rio and your Rio is your solo threat in your comp, you have to fight front to back. You don't really have another option. So really good burning down the first target that you see. I think you want to try and play a little bit in front of the Rio if you can, because if you have to teleport her forward or backward, you can do so. But really good picks there. Got 2, which is good. Still frontlined really good there too, getting the stun. This call in, I would look to call in for Rio if she's not full build. I would have gave her that tree probably. Now you do have like a tough final fight against I wouldn't worry about the Adriana now that she's solo. She'll have to make call-ins and then she'll be behind because she has to make at least 2, or her team will be behind because she has to make 2. I worry about how you're gonna fight in this final fight. They don't have a tank, they just have a Irem who's a little tanky but not a lot, and Felix who can dodge auto attacks. So front to back as well, but you'll have to peel the Shoichi off of the Rio if you can. Estelle should look to save ult for the Rio on top of the Shoichi ult. You want to try and disrupt the Felix if you can. Get him to, because he's going to be dodging auto attacks with E. Probably focus majority of your damage down onto him so that you can help burn him down, because he'll be lacking up damage from the Rio. Also, with 3 teams left and one of them being a solo, I wouldn't bother saving for reds. So spend your credits if you can. You're 30 off. It still doesn't have enough. So I'm glad that you guys all spent your credits. This is good, but you do need to keep this Rio alive as easy as possible. I would almost like throw your box down around the Rio for Shoichi, probably gonna W into it at some point and get stunned, and Felix have to like either step out of it to try and like kite, and then you can look to get damage down on him that way. So Just protecting your Rio with your W and Alt W. So you would have seen this console, you can assume that that's a res. How do you play against Shoichi generally? Try to sniff out his engages. A lot of them will try to engage with dagger skill. Don't want to play next to walls unless you can jump over them out of vision, because that'll group up his daggers if you can help it. Radar scan should just hit, so you know this team's nowhere nearby. You can take this team over here because they're just a group of 2. So I like that you're flooring it at them immediately, and your Rio's full build, which is good. Again, if you're like a marksman, it's not really much you can do other than stay as far away as possible or try and play against, like, play near your teammate with the most CC. Good vision scout there. I think you could have been able to send it on the Tia. You have the number advantage, although I don't think you have a way of stopping her from hyperlooping, even with W stun. Rio TPing first, you pretty much never want to do. Either you or Estelle should go first. If you go first, Estelle can ult you if she has to, or if Estelle goes first, she's the tankiest. But you can't really force Rio to not TP first, so if she had just TP'd and died, you know, that would have been terrible. If you're like a mage or something you're playing against Shoichi, kind of look to poke him down before you engage, and then hopefully you can kill him before he gets his full combo off. Like, it's one thing to like play against Shoichi, there's another to not die against Shoichi, right? Like, if you avoid dying and can reset the fight, like, you've won, right? Like, his whole job as an assassin is to try and kill somebody, so you're not necessarily winning by like, you're obviously winning by killing him, but your whole job is to just stay alive from him too. Okay, so this should be an obvious bait. You have Felix walking around pretending to be solo. I think you can pretty much tell that this is a bait, and they're sitting in the bush. Stealth sends it a little bit too far. I'd be careful. Okay, for a bait, that was a pretty awful bait. They took way too long to react. You probably could have actually killed that Felix. If Estelle didn't E at him, she should have just like walked up to him and queued him probably. Especially in that comp where they don't have a true tank, Felix is not a bad target to engage on. You don't really have to pick a, like, anyone other than a REM is probably fine, and even this REM is fully amped, so engaging onto her isn't that bad either. Estelle's a little bit too far forward. Really good peel. That's what I was talking about in the Shoichi. Killed him before he got his full combo down. And then you kind of just walk up with Rio, keeping her safe while she can basic attack going forward. So pretty much played that Shoichi fight perfectly. That's pretty much how you do it. Can look to stop the res here. Really good E. And all that's left are the stragglers. This team has no transitions because they had to make call-ins. So they should be an easy fight. Just don't get burned down. They might grab Wick though, is the only thing, which you'll see in about 5 seconds. They probably should have grabbed Wick while they're stuck in red. I wouldn't even bother with this Wick. I would just run at them now. That Tia's stuck in red. Well, she had been, so I would immediately turn around. I wouldn't worry about Wick. Take the 3v2. That Felix isn't going to take it solo. They can't revive either because it's day 5. But they were kind of trapped in this zone, so you could have picked them off easily, I think, there. The 3v2 is super simple now because they don't have a front line. This Jackie has 1 transition, so she won't be able to tank anything. You just let Rio free hit, and if Jackie jumps in, you just try to CC him.
Step back.
Stella's going forward, taking some poke. Yeah, you kind of just play around this console, not letting anyone get call-ins, not anyone take vision. Eventually you kill this Felix if you can. I don't think you need to be making call-ins. I think you should just be pushing your Wick because you have it. Giving up console to a solo Felix is kind of useless.
I'm glad there's two of us at times like these. Whatever.
Forcing them into red is good. You pretty much just want to hold this area, let Rio free hit. There's the jump, good box to stop. So really good Arda gameplay. Mechanically, your Arda looks really good. Just a few things about being quicker and like assessing when you have a kill angle on someone, like up with here in stream we talked about. But overall, it looked really good. Your Rio's gonna take a 1v1 with Felix, it looks like. At this point, you just walk at him. Like, there's no real point of like toying with him. These safe zones won't trigger if you don't have two people or more than two teams, so there's no point of going into one. You basically just want to make sure that you get the kill credit on him so that you get the RP gains. You know, you don't want him to just head boom in red. Should be no way he 1v3s you guys. So, good job though. We were all super good quality games today.
I hope my footsteps become a meaningful legacy.
Well, I appreciate you guys coming out to the stream. Got through 5 replays, I believe. So, pretty good. I will update the video after the stream to include the timestamps. But yeah, that was the end of season 2, which will be renamed to season 1 of VOD review and coaching. Be sure to check out the beginning of the stream. I went over all the codes that are available, or all the coupons that are available for you to get some rewards, get some skin boxes, get some NP, get some A coin. Also talked about like if you want one-on-one coaching and how to get that at the start of the stream, so be sure to check that out too. But I will post in my Discord about when the form opens for the next season of VOD review, so be on the lookout for that. Thanks for the content all these years. No problem. I appreciate it. Appreciate you guys coming out. I got some more guides coming on the way. I have at least 4 that I'm working on currently at once, as well as like 3 other projects. So I'm a little busy. Gonna be uploading a little bit slower during preseason to work on everything, but hopefully I'll have a Halloween video coming out soon. It should be exciting. But thank you guys for coming out. Appreciate it. And be sure to keep grinding ranked. You have 5 days left to hit your rank goals. I know all of you will be able to do so. You're all very good players. But I appreciate it. Thank you for coming out. And have a good rest of your day.